Welcome back to another video. For those who are new here, y'all might have just saw my title about Chirp. Y'all might be in the Chirp project already, and y'all haven't stumbled across my channel before. Welcome. I am the Grumpy Dad, and I try to bring you more of a real life, amateur level videos of projects and deep end projects, and I'm in several of them. And some people say that, they kind of like the way I'm more natural than some of my fellow YouTubers. Look, I learned from a lot of them. I've had a lot of them help me as I've started off 2-3 years ago. And I just try to keep it real. That's why people call me grumpy. Some people can't handle real. I'm realistic. I can talk positive about a project like Chirp and still critique them at the same time. I like Chirp. I have been involved. I'd say probably this says I've been in it over a year. I got my Chirp Blackbird miner. I don't know the exact date, but it says a year ago. So I've been mining and doing videos on Chirp and showing, it installed on top of a building. Then I started doing videos covering the Chirp tracker and, NFTs that you were getting with the Chirp project, supporting that, spreading the word. And then about 7 months ago, I started really supporting the CHIRP Kage app and trying to get people on board and spread that word about that. So as you can see, I have supported Chirp. I can remember joining the Chirp Discord, I would say 2.5 years ago. Very, very few people. I want to say there was only like 20 people in it, if not less. We didn't know what it was going to be. You couldn't see any pictures of designs. And I'm just trying to tell y'all that this is not something, some YouTubers come in kind of late and, no disrespect to them or anything like that. But I have been involved with Chirp from the beginning. So before we go any further, please do me one favor. Please make sure you hit that like button, as all the other YouTubers say also, is that really helps the channel out. It helps the videos. I have Chirp Kage. I have Chirp tagged in these videos. That's going to help spread the word on Chirp. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. We go through Chirp and many, many deep pin projects, and we're going to discuss some of that right now. And here at the Grumpy YouTube channel, on Mondays, we go through all of our passive income projects that we're currently in. And currently, I'm in 19 different projects. Actually, 21 when you include all the little data ones. 21 different deep end projects, and I have them all ranked. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do a live where people just BS and people throw questions and stuff, and we go back and forth. And I do videos kind of in between. But on Mondays, we do these videos where I rank projects. And for the last, I want to say like 12 weeks in a row, Chirp has been consistently number one. Consistently number one. Now, this is the Chirp Blackbird. The Chirp Blackbird, which you can only get with an NFT. And I really, here I am, I'm going to start critiquing, is that I don't care for this. When in the beginning, when Chirp was starting out, hey, the NFT thing was cool. But now it's established, all the NFT is doing is inviting scalpers to come in, buy it for $400 and charge $400 more for it. They don't have to handle anything. They just buy an NFT, then turn it around, reselling it 5 minutes later. Where if Chirp would start actually getting somebody to sell the devices, or they sell the devices themselves and ship the devices, then the scalper would have to get that device in, turn around, worry about reselling it, shipping it, paying for that and stuff like that, and make it a little bit harder. So my hope is that they get away from this NFT thing. And at the very least, for the NFT for that, why not charge Chirp? Charge Chirp. That helps bring liquidity into the token. But we're here to talk about some new news with the Chirp Kage. So again, with this project, we have been making, with the price as of Monday, which was about the 14th of September, about $3.65 a day. Token price has been about a nickel. But we're making 144 tokens every 2 days, which is 72 tokens every day. And we do quite well with that. Chirp Kage has always been advertised as a kind of a supplement of what you can do to also make some Chirp they have said from the beginning, transparent, hey, we're not going to pay you enough money for a Lambo. This is just a way to supplement and to start getting a little bit of chirp in. If you can't get a hold of that Blackbird miner, you can run CHIRP Kage and get, some rewards. I will say the first drop, which was all this testnet as far as CHIRP Kage was going, and then eventually the first round, that drop was very nice. Very nice. Very good rewards. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but it was very nice. As that went on, it wasn't so much. It wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. It just wasn't as plentiful as the first one. So now Chirp had been talking over and over, talking a lot, advertising with us that they would be coming up soon with a new kind of variation to the CHIRP Kage app called the Wings of Chronos. And with the Wings of Chronos, it was just kind of a twist. I call it the adult version of Pokemon Go. It's about as simple as that. For those who are familiar with Pokemon Go, I used to play it a lot with my kids when they were going to the beach in Florida and stuff like that. Even just around here, going out to eat at restaurants and stuff. They would go and on their phone would show up a Pokemon and they would try to capture it or battle it or whatever it was like that. Chirp has kind of done that same thing. Now, again, I'm not going into this deep dive on what Chirp is. I'm expecting you to know what it is. If not, check some of my other videos or many of the other videos out there. Check Discord, their website. But it's basically an IoT network. I call it the hybrid version of Helium. I know they don't like that, but really it is. It's supposed to be taking what Helium was. And hey, despite what people want to feel, Helium was successful. For those who are sick of hearing me tell the story, bear with me, because for those who are new, don't know, but I was in Helium very early, 20,000 devices. That was it. We were making about 16 to 20 Helium per day. The New Orleans area only had 2 or 3 other Helium miners. Eventually token goes up. When it got to $17 to $18, my first Helium miner cost me $5,000, and I ROI'd $5,000 in 17 days. Now, the history is known. Rewards have gone to crap, and there's no secret what's going on with Helium. Helium is still a successful network, despite what anybody wants to say. It might not be for miners, but it's still a successful network. But they were very, very restricted on what kind of devices got connected, what companies got connected and stuff. Chirp came along and said, we're going to do this better. We're going to add another frequency to it, 2.4 and stuff, and we're going to be more accepting to all kinds of IoT devices. So despite what some people want to argue, to me, it is a hybrid, better Helium version 2.0. I question, here's the critique again, what the hell does this right here have to do with that IoT project? Them pushing us to go around with Kage and to scan different networks and stuff like that. I question that. I question also what does the Wings of Chronos have to do? So let me just get that. I don't want nobody to watch this video and say, hey, you keep saying that. Why did you mention that in the video? Here, now I mentioned it in the video. I am very positive on the CHIRP project. I think it has gigantic potential. I've never kept that a secret. Like, I tell everybody that I have potential in CHIRP, and that's why I'm so criticeful, if that's the word, of this project, is because I want to see it stay on course for the IoT project it's supposed to be. Why they keep limiting so many devices when you're trying to spread this IoT network around the world, I don't know. Why they concentrating so much on this, I don't know. But hey, they must know something I don't know. So we're going to talk about this. You should be running CHIRP Kage now. If you need a code to get into CHIRP Kage, I have a code below that y'all can join. Please join it. It helps you out. It helps me out a little bit. I have to run CHIRP Kage on a secondary device. My work phone and my personal phone are both iPhones. Hey, I call them all iPhones or fake iPhones. You need a fake iPhone to run CHIRP. I know some people get offended. Some people take that joke way too serious. But hey, 52 or 53% in the latest polls of the world own iPhones of people who own smartphones. So it is what it is. But you do need this. CHIRP Kage is not available on iOS devices. You have to have an Android type device. So for those who know the story, I had a buddy who happened to be getting rid of, I did some network work for, had me getting rid of an Android phone. So I take the Android phone, tether it to my cell phone. So now the Android phone has service, and I run CHIRP Kage. In addition to that, I also run Earn app on it. If you don't know what Earn app is, check out my videos on it. Earn app has been one of my best projects. I think I've cashed out like $800 worth of Earn app since June. So Earn app, something that can run on this and your computers and stuff like that. Check it out. There's a link for that in the bottom, and I've been doing very well. So I run Earn app on this, and I run CHIRP Kage. And basically, as you're driving around, you're scanning for networks, and you get ranked, and depending on that ranked, you get your rewards at the end. So starting early this week, it was announced that the next reiteration of Kage has come, and that is the Wings of Chronos. Basically, if you're running CHIRP Kage now, you have to go update your app. You start off with just a 100-meter range, which for us that live in America that use real measuring system, that is about 500 feet, or about a little more than 1.5 football fields. That is your range. That if you're driving around, and if you come within range of one of these Wings of Chronos devices, you will then see the scanner pop up and stuff like that. We're going to go over that in a minute. They also have where you can boost your scanners. You can go for 50 CHIRP. You can go to a Scout scanner. Ranger scanner can go to 5 kilometers for 120 CHIRP. A Sentinel scanner can do 10 kilometers for 200 CHIRP. 10 kilometers is roughly about 6 miles. So when you look, the Sentinel scanner, if you just go ahead, if you're going to pay for it, you max it out. You do 200 CHIRP. Right now, the price is about 5.5 cents. So when you figure 200 CHIRP, you're looking at $11. Now, what I did is also, CHIRP has some very, very good staking rewards. So all my CHIRP I had made while having this BlackBerry device for a year now, I have it all being staked. I haven't taken rewards for my staking in a while. I had over 500 CHIRP, which is a pretty good price. It was over 500. I'm gonna say 500. So I had about $28 worth of CHIRP just in staking rewards. I took my staking rewards, paid for the improved scanner, so now I'm scanning at 10 kilometers. There's also what's called a premium pass. There's a premium pool of 336,000 CHIRP. A maximum of 1,000 players can share the premium pool. So I'm guessing they're only selling 1,000 passes. With the premium pass, potential earnings can increase to 2,000 CHIRP per round, which is 4 times the amount possible in the free pool. This provides a direct path for top tier of Kage rewards for most dedicated players. So you can also get the premium pass. Here is when you go to the CHIRP website, shows you, so for an additional 120 CHIRP, you can get the premium pass. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I did all these only because, again, to me, it's not coming out my pocket. I know technically it kind of is, but this was CHIRP rewards from staking. So it never came in my wallet. I'm not going to miss it. And even by spending 320 CHIRP, I still had 200 that went back into staking from my rewards left over 200. So I'm going to try this for a month. This goes for about a month. I think one of them's a month, the other one's about 6 weeks. I'm trying them both. Now, when you look at this Medium article, they give you instructions on how to do all this if you want to. I will put a link to this. You can get this from their Discord announcements page, but I'll also try to remember to put a link from this website right here with the instructions down in the description below. But basically, you're going to go to app.wireless.io, sign in, and then select Kage from left-hand corner to view all the items. Now, for those who already have running Kage and that kind of stuff like that, you should already have your setup done already. And you can see, different devices and different options here. But when you go to Kage, it will tell you what you already have. If you wanted to buy one of these, or if you didn't buy anything yet, when you click this, it will then give you the option to buy. Here you can see that I got the premium pass and also the Sentinel pass for 10 kilometers. I'm telling y'all, as soon as I bought this, it then showed up in my app. It showed up as 10 kilometers and it showed up with the premium pass. I'm telling you, it was not even 15 to 30 seconds. The reason I bring this up is because you have some people who are still saying that they purchased this, and 15, 20 minutes later, 2-3 hours later, they have not gotten this yet. I question if maybe their wallet is not set up correctly yet. If you don't have a wallet done yet and they thought they did, I don't know. That's just me assuming. But when I go down here to the CHIRP Kage app, the third option has this little rocket looking ship right here, because we all going to the moon. And when you click that, you'll see on top, you'll see what options you have. I have 3 different boosts going on right now. I have one, which is just a basic booster, because I have over 500 CHIRP in my wallet. So even though I'm staking, don't run into that issue like I ran into before, where I get all excited because I get my rewards that I can claim, and all of a sudden I have all this CHIRP that I can claim, that I can stake. So I go hurry up and claim all my CHIRP into staking, and then realize I didn't leave enough for the booster. There's a 50% booster for the CHIRP Kage, as long as you have 500 CHIRP or more sitting in your SUI wallet. So make sure you leave enough in there for that. So I have that booster running at plus 50%. I then have the premium pass, and then I have the Sentinel scanner. The Sentinel scanner is good. That's a 10 kilometer one. Is good until October 17th. The premium pass is good until October 29th. So for those who are asking me in my Discord, again, I didn't mention that in the beginning, but for those who are new here, I do have my own Discord, the Grumpy Dad Discord. The link's in the description below. And it covers this project along with a lot of the other projects I'm in. All these different channels where you can come in, ask questions about all your different projects, and people, will help you out and stuff like that. So please join it. I'm really trying to get it, moving. I appreciate everybody's support on that. But people in the Discord have been asking, like, hey, how do I go purchase these things? What's the difference between them? That's the difference between them, what we just mentioned. And basically, you going to the CHIRP desktop or the dashboard, clicking on Kage on the side right here, and then it's bringing, these options up. So that is that. So I've had some people ask me, is it even worth doing CHIRP Kage anymore? Why are they asking that? Because some people don't have the Wings of Chronos around them. On that same Medium article, on the Discord announcements, they showed you this map. And this map shows you, there's another one that's even better, but it shows you where the concentration of these beacons are. It's in certain cities. I don't know if they want these certain cities for IoT reasons or mapping. Because really, let's be honest, what this is this is getting you in certain areas while you're looking for that Chronos. You are also scanning networks for them. So as you can see, where I live at in this New Orleans area, there's no beacons. Even in the Dallas area, which is one of the biggest, Houston's probably one of the biggest cities in the South, and then Dallas. Only Dallas has a yellow, which is not that many, supposedly. So you can look down here and see that there's a medium-low concentration of beacons, and it kind of tells you the names of the cities and stuff like that. So then, if you live in one where it is the big purple spot, you definitely want to be involved in this. Again, now financial advice, we don't know what the hell is going to happen with this project tomorrow. We don't know what kind of rewards we're going to get for this. But if you're involved in the project and you're trying to decide, should I do this or not? You have a big purple spot, you need to be doing it. If you live like up in here, maybe not. So that's what I'm curious to find out. Down here, I have nothing. I have been driving around with this thing on into the New Orleans area. And this is New Orleans, South Louisiana. And Baton Rouge is off this way. I work in this general area. And I took a long lunch yesterday because I came to work early. So I was able to take longer lunches. And I drove this entire area. This is a state highway right here. This is the interstate right here. And drove all the way into New Orleans. Now, again, I'm driving. I have a 6-mile scanner on. So when you measure the distance for 10 kilometers or 6 miles, this is 6 miles. So if this thing is anywhere in this general area, I'm finding it. When I'm driving around the airport, this was all swamp down here. But if there was any kind of beacon anywhere on this land, my device would pick it up. There's nothing. There's nothing. So what I'm getting at is people asking me if I'm gonna stay subscribed. I'm trying this for 1 month. If I drive this whole area with 1 month and I don't get anything, I'm probably not going to resubscribe. Now, one positive thing I'm positive on myself, feeling positive about is that it did ask me when you sign up for those, extended ranges and stuff like that, the boosters, it does ask you, what city are you planning on scanning this in? And I even typed in the small town where I work at, and it popped up. And what I'm hoping Chirp at least pays attention to this and says, hey, this guy just paid for the 2 boosters. We can at least give him 1 beacon in this small town. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm not counting on it, but who knows? It's hopeful thinking. So one thing they do say in the announcements is, how does it work? It's not a one-time event. It's a living, growing ecosystem. It's a self-sustaining economy. 80% of what we paid for with the premium pass and buying those scanners, 80% goes back into creating a new, richer beacon, and 20% gets locked up in their lockup pool, which is a cool thing. This model ensures it's sustainable. And this is kind of what I was saying. Your city, your hunt. The world of Chronos is shaped by you. So that map we saw is just the beginning of where it's kicking off at. If this, according to this, it will be higher where player activity is highest. Your actions have a direct impact. Invite friends, scan your city, build your dominance. So what they're trying to say is, this thing's supposed to be able to see me scanning. Hopefully there might be somebody else in my area scanning also. More people scanning, it could possibly attract or bring in the next beacon right now. I'm hoping that's how this works. So the announcements, they did show you where 24 hours, the amount of beacons that have already been found. They do have this video, which I thought was a pretty cool video, where it shows you somebody scanning, walking around, and it shows you how when you get close, your phone swaps over to the AR mode and will, has the camera like Pokemon. You can see where the little green radar, when you start getting within so many kilometers, so many meters, the green radar will tell you which way to go. And you can see the boxes right here in front of them, but yet the radar says go left. So it's been a little hanky, a little weird. And then once you get close enough, you can tell this is virtual. It'll be collect beacon. So they picked areas on the map, virtually dropped these beacons, and it's up to you to go find them. Now, what have the issues been with this? Let's go check. First thing is, I can't stand people that cheat. I can't stand cheaters. Can't stand spammers, people that lie. And you have people already who are trying to spoof the game. How are you going to spoof this game? The Chirp team is the one who dropped the beacons. How are you going to spoof beacons? Are you really that stupid? But apparently it says, and we've always questioned the amount of awards people are getting with CHIRP Kage. That there's no way there was that many cell sites and stuff like that. But now they're trying to cheat the beacons. So their team's going to review every case to ensure that it's honest players are fully awarded and spoofers are removed. So you deserve to get kicked out if something like this, if you're going to cheat on something like this. So one of the biggest complaints that have been in the last 48 hours is Apparently, they just used a map to drop some of these things. And you have where this thing wants you to go on private property. And I'm going to tell you, do not risk it. People take private property very seriously, sometimes with a gun first, depending on what area you're in. And especially if there's a fence there, a high fence like this. But there had been several complaints of spots that you legally can't go into. Somebody posted one yesterday where it was in the middle of a major, like 5-lane, four or 5 lane. I'm talking about 4 lanes on both sides of the median interstate or like major highway. And I'm not risking my life going over an interstate, walking through an interstate for a beacon. So there was several. One of them showed you it in some kind of sewage drainage canal or something like that. So I'm not going swimming for this, and I'm definitely not going to swim in a sewage canal for it. So people have been asking for them to try to rework that side of things. Here's another one where this guy would have to cross on the private property to get to the beacon. But this says he's only 5 meters away. He should almost see it by at this point. People are also complaining. Finally, I'm glad to see people complaining about this. I'm sick of complaining about it. I said I would not do this anymore because I'm not going to be the only person complaining. And the fact that in mere, it just reset the round and people are already over 1 million tokens already. And I just question how, not to make this video anything about that, but my biggest question is just, if you use common sense, you know how impossible this is. These people are riding around the same areas. I don't care how dense it is. I don't care how many cell sites there are. This cage thing has been going on for months. They are scanning the same networks over and over and over again. So they're not getting all the bonuses, because the bonuses sometimes say for the day that you have to scan so many new networks. Well, they can't be. If they've been in that same city and same town, there's no way they're getting that many new ones. There's no way they should be getting. One guy was at 9 million within a couple of hours. It's impossible. It's impossible. But hey, I'm done. So guys, that's really it. I don't want to make this video way too much longer than it already is. It's kind of late for that. So that's always getting messed up. That's Wings and Chronos. If you're involved with Chirp Kage, make sure your app's updated. I had to go and actually manually update my app to get this to come up yesterday. Whether or not you get the boosters, that's on you. You read the boosters are a crapshoot, because if you never find a beacon, it wasn't worth it. So there is a chart on there also on the website where you can see that, if you pay for the premium pass, and so you get involved in that extra pool, depending on how you rank, and at the end of the month, how you rank, that is what you're going to get for the boost pool. But the problem is if people are getting these beacons, I'm reading on here where people get a beacon, and as soon as they find that beacon, it's already popped up another beacon somewhere else down the road. And call me salty, call me childish, but you have areas like the whole south part of the United States right here that don't even have a dot, because you can't put beacons down here, or very few beacons. And yet you got some cities where you have them on top of each other like that. I think you could have spread them out some more, or they just don't need our area scanned. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Now, one of the last things I do want to mention is, for those who have been running Chirp Kage, you normally have those 3 missions. Normally it's, scan for so many hours straight, then, get so many Wi-Fi networks, then scan so many cellular networks, something like that. I'm noticing now, for the first time as I'm doing this video, now there are 6 different things that you can do. I'm wondering if they did this because of complaining, because to me it was unfair. If I don't have any beacons around and people do have beacons, they're getting beacons and getting extra tokens and we aren't. So maybe this is a way to balance that out. But if all these cheaters are out there, like I was saying before, this is just going to give them even more bonus tokens. So, I don't know. I'm going to keep scanning. I usually keep this scanning nonstop when I'm at home, when I'm at work, especially when I'm driving around. Tomorrow, I got to go drive an hour and a half to a hospital to help set up a repeater. Hour and a half back, I'll have this scanning along with my other D-Pin projects scanning also. But like on here, I got to, if I complete a 6-hour scan, that's 20,000. And that's actually repeated twice on here. So I don't know what the issue is. I even force closed this and opened it back up, and it came up with this again. So I don't know. So at least I'll get 20,000 from a single 6-hour scan. Scanning 270 cellular networks, that's hard to get. That's hard to get, even if you're in a very dense area. 270 is a lot. Then 12,000 Wi-Fi networks. That's a lot. But to get some of these, to get up in rankings, you have to. But I'm gonna say something else. So I haven't gotten any beacons at all, and I'm ranked right now in the 800s. So these people who are saying I can't get better than ranking 5,000 or anything like that, that's bull. I'm just letting this thing sit on my desk, and I'm in a rural area. I have no networks I'm scanning like right now. I'm in a rural area, not a lot of houses around me where I live at, and I'm at ranking 900 something. Tomorrow when I go drive around and drive through a couple different cities to get to where this hospital I'm going, and I go in the hospital and stuff, that number's going to jump up significantly because it's going to capture some Wi-Fi and Bluetooths and everything else. So keep scanning. Y'all keep striving. Tell me what y'all think about Chirp Kage so far. Those of y'all been running it. I've been seeing on my Discord some mixed reactions to beacons. Some people think it's a cool thing, a way to add it. Some people agree with me. Hey, what the hell does this have to do with a IoT project? And some people complaining also about, having beacons and they can't get to them because it's on private property. And I'm going to say this again. Don't go on private property. And people are asking if Chirp's going to, they want to know if Chirp's going to update the project or update the app. It doesn't take an app update. That's going to be on the back end of them and their servers and their project to fix those beacons. And again, you're not dropping like a tremendous amount of beacons. Was it that hard to figure out where y'all dropping them at, if they're on private property or not? It couldn't have been that hard, but maybe it was all computerized. I don't know. But that's Chirp Kage with beacons. Wings of Chronos. I know it's kind of a crash course. I don't want to make this too long, which I'm sure I did already. But just to add a little twist to it, download it, try it out. If y'all new to the project, haven't downloaded it, check my description below. Just one quick disclaimer I just want to make sure I put out there while we still in the video. I do own all the tokens I talk about in my videos, including a buttload of Chirp. I will sell those tokens whenever I'm ready. I have not sold any yet. I'm staking all of them, like I told y'all. But just to, put that disclaimer out there. I do own these tokens, and when my back pocket dictates, or with staking, or when staking ends, or when the price possibly jumps up astronomically, I'm offloading tokens. Maybe not all of them, but sipping some profits, because I believe this market, we will be talking about sipping profits on this channel. We're not going to be hodling forever. That's for sure. At least that's my plan. So again, in closing, make sure you hit the like button below. Help out the channel. Help out the Chirp project. Check out the code below. If you need anything from Helium Deploy, please use the code to the left, or you're right. And help me out. I appreciate it. Hustling for my family. That's basically what this is all about. So we'll have some more videos coming up. We'll be back Monday or Tuesday for my project update video. But I got 1 or 2 other projects I'm trying to knock out for the weekend. I'm including the outdoors one on my Grumpy Dad Outdoors YouTube channel. So thank y'all for watching. See y'all next video.